I was able to figure out the release date for the fifth episode of the Amazing Digital Circus. Now we have very little news regarding new episodes. However, if we look at the release dates of previous episodes and the information we have, we can conclude the most likely release date for the new episode. In this video, I will tell you everything new about the fifth episode, as well as some information about future episodes. If we look at the time intervals between the release of new episodes of the Amazing Digital Circus, we notice that we had to wait a considerable amount of time, about 6 months, before each new episode. The difference between the pilot and the second episode was 6.5 months. The difference between the second and third episodes was 5 months. But the fourth episode was the real exception. It came out just 2 months after the third episode was released. This made us expect that the production speed of new episodes is increasing, and the fifth episode will be released very soon. But that turned out not to be the case. The recent teaser and Glitch's Twitter letter suggests that work on episode 5 is underway, but it won't be out anytime soon. I want to explain to you why we have to wait significantly longer for episode 5 than episode 4. The development of the episode is divided into several stages. The first stage consists of writing the script and creating the storyboard. The second stage consists of recording voices and working with sound to create the voiceover. The third stage is animating the episodes in 3D graphics. The fourth stage is post-production, which is where the episodes take their final form in which we receive them. The first 2 stages of work are done in advance. That is, for episode 5, they were done a long time ago. Gooseworks wrote about this once upon a time in her Tumblr. The longest and most labor-intensive stage of the 4 is the third. 3D graphics take a very long time. Animators need to spend a lot of effort to get exactly the result intended. Once the animation is finished, post-production takes only a few weeks. So when the animation is done and post-production is in the works, Glitch starts posting a lot of teasers for the new episode. This means that we're about a week away from the trailer release and 2 weeks away from the new episode release. I mean, these 6 months we spend waiting for the new episode are spent mostly on animation. And over the winter, Gooseworks was saying that animation for episode 5 hadn't even started yet. However, the latest announcement from Glitch likely means that work on animation is underway at this point. The reason why episode 4 came out so soon after episode 3 is because the 2 episodes were animated together. Many have said that this long wait for new episodes of Amazing Digital Circus was due to Glitch Studios' parallel work on murder drones. Accordingly, after the final murder drones, new episodes of Digital Circus should have started coming out faster. But that didn't happen. Glitch Studios is letting us know that it won't focus on just one project. New shows are taking the place of shows that have ended. Gaslight District, Knights of Guinevere. Regardless, the standard time for the animation team to finish a new episode of Digital Circus is 5 or 6 months. As I thought about these facts, it occurred to me that episodes, with few exceptions, should be released in roughly the same months. The pilot came out in October, the second episode came out in May, the third episode came out again in October, and the fourth episode was one of the exceptions and came out in December. This suggests that the fifth episode is due out in May. You all already know that Glitch releases new episodes on Friday because it's the most convenient viewing time for most viewers. I've noticed something that no one has ever thought about before. Glitch never releases new episodes at the end of the month. They always release an episode either at the beginning of the month or in the middle of the month. And we can find a pattern here as well. The pilot came out in mid-October, episode 2 came out in early May, episode 3 came out in early October. We skip episode 4. I think that all brings us to the point where episode 5 is due out in mid-May. All that remains is to find the Friday that is closest to mid-May, and we'll have the most likely release date for episode 5. According to my predictions, the 5th episode is due out on May 16th. That means we should get a new teaser for episode 5 on May 2nd. Truthfully, I don't think it will appear on May 2nd. I think Glitch will release a new piece of information about episode 5 on May 4th, on the anniversary of episode 2's release. If my prediction is correct, we'll see the 5th episode trailer on May 9th, which will give us the final release date for the new episode. Now I would like to discuss with you a new theory about the plot of the 5th episode. I believe that Kane and Suggestion Box will play a significant role in the 5th and 6th episode. From the beginning, Kane has been more like a villain than a hero. He forced people stuck in the digital circus to play crazy and frightening adventures. However, in the 3rd and 4th episode, we started to see that it's not that simple. Kane has no desire to hurt people. He does do cruel things, but he does it unintentionally. For example, he kills Gummigoo and forces Zooble to participate in adventures against her wishes. But Kane feels like he is doing the right thing. His program tells him that he knows best what the adventures should be, where the NPCs should be, and where the players should be. In Episode 5, Ragatha will try to reprogram Kane. The challenge for the main characters will be to change Kane's perspective on what adventures should be. To do this, it will be necessary to get Kane to play several adventures on par with the players. To execute this plan, the characters will need to split up. The first team will distract Kane so he won't notice anything. The second team will have to sneak to the suggestion box, pull out all the old envelopes and replace them with new envelopes. Each new envelope will have the same offer: to participate in an adventure with the main characters. Jax won't participate, as he's fine with it as it is. The second team should include Kinger and Zooble. Kinger is the only character whose hands are not connected to his body. He can move his palms over long distances, and because of this, he can help get to the suggestion box. Zooble can control her limbs, even when they are not attached to her body. Working together, Kinger and Zooble will be able to replace all the letters in the suggestion box. But this will be difficult for Zooble and Kinger because they won't coordinate well. To help with this, Pomni should get on their team. She could put a bucket over Kinger's head so that he would regain his sanity in the dark. Because of this, Kinger won't be able to see anything, but Pomni will tell him where to move his hand. It turns out that the task of distracting Kane and convincing him to look in the suggestion box again at the end will fall to Ragatha and Gangle. Once the characters have succeeded, Kane will have to play baseball with them against a team of other NPCs. At this point, Kane will realize how an adventure should be built that really makes the players feel good and have fun. But finally, Kane will be able to realize everything in Episode 6 when he participates in his adventure with the rest of the characters. He will be able to realize that his crazy and violent adventures are far from always fun. After that, Kane will have to change and go against his program. I think the last episodes will be about the main character's struggle to convince Kane that he should release them despite the bans and all the risks. I've told you many times that the adventure in Episode 6 will most likely be The Curse of the Violent Psychopath Butcher. Episode 6 will focus on Jax, and this adventure should be filled with plenty of challenging obstacles and fights. This is a great opportunity to not only reveal Jax's perspective on the adventure and the digital circus as a whole, but also to show us how Kane thinks when designing such frightening and violent storylines. Kane probably sees it all as an element of character motivation and immersion in the adventure. When he tries to participate in a battle with a butcher without using his powers and being on equal footing with the players, Kane will be able to realize how much the main characters feel discouraged from participating in such adventures. This will be an important step for Kane to change his approach to running the digital circus. What are your thoughts on that? Will the characters succeed in convincing Kane that his approach to creating adventures is wrong? Will Episode 5 be released on March 16th? Write your thoughts and theories in the comments, and I'll be sure to read them. The best comments will make it into the new videos. Also, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. Good luck, everyone, and bye-bye.